improve visibility by improving searchability of your title. Hey guys, what's up? So welcome back to Bama Jaybird Resell. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Josh. We have a lot of really cool sales going out the door today from the weekend. Of course, it was longer because of the holiday, but also because of the weather situation. So a few more sales than normal, but I have 25 items going out today for $1,055.18. So I'm really excited about that. It's been a good several days for me. I hope it has been for you, for those of you that are resellers. We're not just going to look at what sold, but we're also going to be taking a look at what makes a good title. Now, we're just going to kind of scratch the surface today and look at general format ideas. So we're not going to dig real deep into it yet, but over the course of the next 2 or 3 videos, I'm going to try to give you some suggestions, maybe discuss some of the things, remind us of some things that we know we should be doing, and maybe help us begin to reshape or rethink, even for those that haven't gone back and thought about this in a while, how we are addressing titles so that we get better search results and so that we hopefully get more sales, more clicks on our items, and we see a positive impact on our stores. So stick around for that. First of all, we're going to start with some of the sales that we had over the weekend. I had some really cool stuff that went out and some things that are a little bit laughable. So I'm going to show you, as I always do, start with the least and work our way up to the best sale. And I'll show you a really terrible sale, but you know, it went out the door, so I'm okay with it. This is a 2 DVD set, part 1 and 2 of Harry Potter, The Deathly Hallows. I didn't have it priced, but I think for maybe $5 for the set. I took an offer of $2.50, and so I know there's no money really in that, but I've already made my money back from where I'd originally bought all this stuff, and I was just glad to get rid of it. I've actually been thinking about going through, purging, and throwing some of this stuff away, but $2.50 plus ship, so I'm not out anything, and if anything, you know, made $2. I know, it's funny. It's okay to laugh, but you know, it just is what it is. This next item, so I told you that the recurring theme, or I think I said this, is going to be CDs. Those of you that watch my videos and been watching my content, you know that I recently, or at least I say recently, a couple months back, I purchased a portion of a storage unit that a lady who I know that cleans out storage units, she had 2 big tubs of CDs, and it was a lot of late 80s, early 90s rap, the early generation hip hop and rap, and then a lot of like metal, hard rock. It was just a really cool collection, things that I knew would be worth a lot of money if I parted it out right and lotted it up correctly. So let's just get to it. This first one is Stillwater. This was sold by itself, of course, and I got $8 plus shipping for this one. All right, the next one, and like I said, there's going to be a recurring theme. I've got quite a few items. There's a lot of clothing items, some other miscellaneous stuff, but a lot of CDs today because, like I said, I'm finally getting all that stuff listed up. I might have 2 more listings or 3 that I'm going to do, and then I'm done with all of those, and it was several hundred, maybe 300 to 400 CDs. All right, so this is a 2-disc lot of Alice in Chains. I got $9 plus shipping for those. This CD, this is Keel, K-E-E-L. This is their self-titled debut record. This is a metal glam rock band again, and I sold this for $10 plus shipping. So as you can see, they may not all be, you know, big numbers by themselves, but I'm telling you, they're adding up fast. I'm going to end up doing really well. I talked with my wife. I think we're going to be probably somewhere maybe in the range of $400 possibly, or more, maybe more than that before we're finished selling all this, and it's selling well. The next item, so this is not a CD. I picked this up. Actually, I think this was in my video where we went thrifting in Montgomery. This is a training camp hat from Green Bay. This is when they were in De Pere. I'm probably not saying that right. If you're from Wisconsin, you're welcome to help me out with that and correct me in the comments. But Wisconsin, and this is made by Reebok. It is a strap back hat. I only gave like $1.99 for this, I think is what it was. I got it at the Goodwill. It was just a cheap hat there, but I got $8.99 plus shipping for it, so it didn't do that bad, and it hasn't been listed all that long. The next item that's up, more CDs. So we have Y&T. This is a 2 CD lot. The titles of these are 10 and Yesterday and Today Live. I've already sold 1 Y&T CD. That was a single CD, and then this one, these 2 sold for $15 plus shipping. So a pretty good sale there. I've got a pair of Adidas athletic pants Your major athletic brands in the long pants this time of year for wintertime, they do pretty well. It's just an easy pickup. I get most of this stuff, as you know from watching the videos, those of you that do. If you're a new subscriber, by the way, thank you for subscribing. It's great to have all the new subscribers on board in the last month or so. But most of the stuff that I source clothing-wise, a good majority of it I get for between $2 and $3. I've got a couple of kind of mom and pop style thrift shops, and then also a Salvation Army, where about the max price is usually $3. You know, my price, my cost of goods is really low. And so now let's me jump in these and still make a good profit. So these Adidas pants, I believe I gave 3 for these, and I got $16 plus shipping on those. Next item, this is a pair of Levi's. These are corduroy pants, so Levi cords are pretty good. These are not silver tab. I do have a pair of Levi like Y2K, the baggy fit, loose fit silver tab cords in my store right now, and they're pretty pricey. They're over $100. I would probably take less than that, but these, not as vintage. These are 569s, but 569s are pretty, still pretty popular. They are the baggy fit jeans, so it still kind of falls into that category. These are really wore though, man. I'm telling you, they got places where they're really threadbare, and I disclosed all that, took really good pictures, and I only sold these for $9.99 plus shipping. Had they been in great shape, I probably could have got 20 bucks or more for these. But I'll take 10. I mean, I got those at one of my local mom and pop shops. I know exactly where I got them, and I paid $2.50. So I didn't lose anything. Moving on, let's see. So y'all know we had the puzzle craze right back in 2020, and so it kind of bled over into 2021 a little bit. And when I first started buying items as a reseller, when I launched my store in January of 2021, well, actually, I started buying stuff at the end of 2020, but when I launched in January 2021, I had bought several puzzles at various places, you know, when I got them really cheap, like usually $3 or less, some at the Goodwill, some at other local thrift stores, so a couple at yard sales that were still sealed. I picked up these Marvel puzzles. I think I got this one with the Salvation Army, and again, I believe these were $3 each. This is Deadpool. It's a pretty cool puzzle. I mean, I like puzzles. I always liked them when I was a kid. Probably makes me a nerd, but you know, I don't care. I mean, that's just add that to the list of things that make me nerdy. But point of the story is this. I don't know about you, but I still got, you know, probably 15 or 20 puzzles. Man, when they dried up and they quit selling, they really dried up. And I probably just need to go back, revisit my listings, lower my prices, and try to just get them sold and get them out the door. But this did sell good, sold for $13.99 plus shipping, so I wound up doing pretty good on that one. Maybe if I'm patient long enough, more of them will sell. But got rid of that. Next item on the list is a Sony AM/FM alarm clock. Now this has the nature sounds like the sleep machine style, and it also has the projector. So I thought this is really cool. It's got this little projector screen. It will project onto the wall or the ceiling and show you the time. So that's a really cool feature. They're not worth as much as you would hope or expect, but only gave a couple of bucks for this, and I got $16 plus shipping. It's going out the door today. All right, let's do a couple more, and then we'll talk about our topic a little bit. So I have another clothing item. This is a pair of Columbia Omni-Shade hiking pants. So these are the really light material, kind of like a nylon, and you know, they're kind of popular, especially in the summertime. They're really cool. These are sometimes referred to as camping pants or fishing pants, and I actually got $19.99 plus ship for these, and I think it was $1.50 for these. It was $1.50 or $3. I got them at one of I call it my honey hole thrift store in Tuscaloosa, and clothes are pretty cheap there. They're $3 regular price, but I think this is on a half off day, and I think I gave $1.50 for those actually. Really good pickup there. All right, so let's move on into our topic. Let's talk about that a little bit. So we want to go over, first of all, just 3 general basic ideas about titles before we get to the actual formatting information. And so these first 3 big ideas, I want to start with, you want to improve visibility. That means you have to satisfy the algorithm. You have to satisfy the search criteria that eBay or Google is looking for. And while I know that the title is not the only piece of data that eBay or Google is using to determine search results, especially eBay, but it is a key component of what they use to determine those search results. So you want yours to pop up. Improve visibility by improving searchability of your title. Very important. Number 2, once the search results populate, your title and your thumbnail are the first things that the buyer sees. Now, we're not talking about thumbnails or photos today, so keep in mind that, okay, that picture may draw them in, but when they look to the right and see the title, man, if that title's bland, if it's misarranged, if it looks like it didn't have much effort put into it, I'm not saying it's the most important factors, but I'm telling you, it does matter, the visual aspect of it. It's the first thing they see, and I mean, it matters to me. You know, stores you go in that have the best signage, a lot of times it draws you to them. So keep that in mind. And that is a good segue into our last point on the overall, overview of titles. They have the ability to do one of two things. They can grab the buyer's attention, or they can lose the buyer's attention. And look, we want clicks. If we don't grab their attention to the point that they click, we're not getting anywhere. We are not going to make sales. Yes, first of all, your item has to populate into the search. If it doesn't, the search that the buyer's putting in there, if it doesn't pull your item, extract it from that bulk, that pile of items that are available, and put it in front of the buyer, you have no shot. But once it's there, it has to be something that catches their eye, and it has the ability to do that if you approach it the right way. Think in terms of, if you're the buyer, how would you want it to arrange? Now, we got to satisfy the algorithm first, but we need to think of how we can both satisfy the algorithm while at the same time maintaining a connection to the buyer, because we want to be competitive, and that matters. Clicks equal sales. Get those clicks by getting the titles correct and making sure the format is right. And so I'm not saying it'll always be exactly the same for every item, exactly in the same order, but it is definitely worth our time to investigate, to research, and to figure this out. Now let's move on to some more of our sales, and then in a minute we'll go over the actual big parts of formatting. We'll just kind of go through them very quickly, a laundry list, and that'll probably be all for this video in terms of titles, but you can expect more on future videos. All right. We have, let's see, the next thing is another CD. Imagine that. This one is called Mortification, or it's by Mortification, and it is called Post Momentary Affliction. So some of these, like I said, these are kind of out there, for me anyway. I mean, I'm not familiar with them. Definitely, though, it's a niche market that there's not a lot of availability. So a lot of these have been selling very well for me. This sold for $23 plus shipping. I was excited about that. It's a good sale for a used CD. I mean, these aren't even sealed. So, man, I'm doing really well on these. The next one, this is a clothing item. I have a pair of Levi's 527s. These are a 36-34. Really good size. Remember that sizes matter. I'm not going to say that's the only determining factor, but like a longer length is something that's harder to find. And so these sold for $18 plus shipping. Now, I know I said I'm going in order, but they, the total, right, with shipping sometimes is more for one than another. I think I still had these on priority, so they probably charged a little more for shipping, which is probably good for me. That means I'm probably making closer to like $21, $22 off of these pants. Next item. Have a pair of UMG pants. Can't tell a lot about these, but these are kind of like what is that stuff called? Velvet? Maybe velvet? I think that's it. Maybe like a velvet feel to them. But these are pull-on pants. They are a large. They have the very wide leg, kind of like a bell bottom. And these are new with the tag. So I've had these listed a while. Probably had them listed a little high. I didn't quite know how to price them being new. Not anything exact in a comp for these, and they're kind of a very unique item. But I wound up taking an offer of $25 for these plus shipping. And again, I pulled those out of the bin at my local thrift store where I got them for $2.50. So $2.50 into $25. I'll take that all day long. Next item going out the door. Now this is a collection. I made a big lot of some of the hard rock CDs from the 90s. And let's see, let me grab it. All right, so this is, I think, 16 CDs. I don't know if you'll be able to really tell what these are. I'll try to show you. So some of the titles include like Sammy Hagar, a couple of Rush CDs, Raging Slab, Wasp, Living Color, Rat. So, a lot of cool titles within that. And I got $28 plus shipping for this lot of 16 CDs. Now, some of you may be saying that's not a whole lot. That's not even $2 a CD. But again, remember, selling them in a bulk lot like this, you really can move them quickly. Got another clothing item. This is a pair of Guess blue jeans. These are $33.30. I gave, again, got these at that same thrift store that I got the UMG pants from. So $2.50 for these, sold them for $24 plus shipping. Really good sale. Those are just solid bread and butter items. I mean, you know, every time you turn $2 or $3 into 20 plus, I mean, they just add up really fast. You make a lot of those sales, you can really help your overall income. So this next one, all right, so this is another CD lot. And I'll try to show these to you as well. This is another set of 16 Hard Rock CDs. On these, I got $30 plus shipping. This includes like Dash Rip Rock, Lynch Mob, LA Guns, Brother Kane, Velvet Revolver, Slaughter, Dangerous Toys, Mr. Big, Black Crows, Warrant. Pretty good mix up on those. Not too many repeats on the bands. All right, time for that shameless plug. Guys, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please take the time, go down there, click that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up. If you have time, leave a comment. I'd love to get your feedback. Any questions that you have, ideas for future videos, leave it in the comments. Guys, I appreciate it. Let's get back to the video. Next, I have a set of 2 Lennox dinner plates, the Lennox Dimension 2 collection, and these are brand new. I actually got these at a yard sale. I got 2 or 3, like the 4-place settings. I think I gave like 40 bucks for everything. I've been well into the profit for a while now, but I was able to get it pretty cheap, and I sold these 2 plates for $22.49 plus shipping. Next item going out, I have a vintage camo t-shirt. This is the Woodland Camo by Rothko. It's got a really nice fade on it. This is long sleeve. It is made in USA. Like I said, it's vintage. It does have double stitching on the hemline, but still a really cool fine long sleeve shirt. Got $17.99 for this, and again, gave 2 bucks for it. Next item. So I have the last of, previous What Sold video, I showed you the Ralph Lauren pants. This is the last of them. This is a pair of vintage Ralph Lauren corduroy Andrew pants, and I got $39.99 plus ship for these. I gave $8.99 for them at one of the bigger thrift stores where the prices are kind of high, but that was still a good find. So $9 into $39.99 plus ship. All right, next item going out. I've already sold 2 of these, but I put a short out where I have been in Walmart, and they have marked down these Christmas combination sets of Lego in Star Wars and in Jurassic World, down to 13 bucks. And these were like $69, I think, regular price, or something like 68, 69, 70 bucks. They were pretty high. So anyway, I picked these up. They were going online for about 46 bucks, and I've already sold all 4 of them. I actually sold 2 more. Sold 2 in the previous video. I haven't got that one you may see before this one. And then sold those 2. And again, $45.99 plus ship on both of those. Next, I've got a pair of Danner boots. These are the Danner Fort Lewis, the tall lace-ups. These are 10-inch, 200-gram tactical insulated boots. They do have wear, and I showed really good pictures. I gave, good description of what condition these are in. They are an 11, and I had these priced up at $120. I took an offer of $90 for these. So I sent an offer of $100. They offered back at $90, and I took it. Then I have that awesome denim Carhartt jacket that I showed you in a previous video where I picked it up at my local thrift store. I gave 5 bucks for this, guys. It is blanket line denim and in awesome condition. Had this priced at $150, took an offer of $130, and I'm excited for it to be going out the door. So $130 plus ship on that. Now, I have one other item, and the story's kind of weird on this, so just kind of bear with me. But I had sold in a previous video a Mary Glow tree topper. And those are from, I think, the 50s and 60s. It's kind of that atomic era. They set on a light base on the top of the tree, and the heat from the light causes it to spin, and it shoots a kind of reflects light around the room. Really cool item. I shipped it out, I think it was in November, and the people that bought it, they were excited to get it. It never arrived. It's one of those that got lost in transition somewhere. It quit updating. It went probably 2 weeks without an update, and they finally filed for a refund through eBay, and for lost missing item, and I gave them their refund. And with the holidays and being sick after it, because it was kind of during that time, I just didn't make it to the post office to do the paperwork to claim the insurance on it. So I was taking a loss, and this was a $75 sale. Now look, I didn't really have anything much in the item, and that's probably why I was a little bit lazy about it, and that's on me. But I was sitting around the other day, and I thought, well, I wonder if that ever showed back up. Most of the time, things that are lost don't. I looked it up and looked at the tracking, and it said it had been delivered. Well, we had a long chain of messages, me and the buyer. I messaged them and asked them if they had received it. Well, they were out of town. They had been out of town for a while, and they were like I'm not even there. Are you serious? You think it's there? And they were excited. Well, they got home a couple days later, messaged me like, everything's fine. The box is perfect. The label's perfect. Nothing's wrong with it. Open it up. It's in perfect condition. They were excited to have it. And I thought, wow, this is pretty cool. We kind of thought it'd be destroyed if it did get there. And then they were like, how in the world am I supposed to pay you for this? I think I really want to pay you. And I thought, man, what a blessing, because not many people have that kind of integrity. And so I wound up relisting the item, and they just repurchased and paid for it. Now, some of you may have an ethical issue with that. I hope not. I'm not trying to do anything wrong. They were really insistent. I tried to think of different ways, that we could kind of settle that without them having to even worry about it. And they were just insistent that they really wanted to pay me for it. And so I relisted. They were watching for my listing. As soon as, like I said, as it popped up, they purchased it and paid, and they're excited, and I'm thankful. Guys, I know we have some issues with buyers sometimes, but there's some really awesome people out there. I mean, that have great integrity, and they're not trying to do wrong. And of course, I'm not trying to. And so I'm thankful not only for that gracious buyer. Her name is Kendra. If you ever happen to see this, Kendra, thank you so much for your integrity, for your honesty, and for your urgency that you had in making sure I got paid for this item. That's also included in this, but no picture of it or no video, because it's something that has been there for a while. And so I'm thankful to have that money added back, though. Let's finish up our topic. So general format, I've got 6 things that I want to just quickly introduce. Number 1, I would lead most oftentimes with the brand of the product, whatever it is. Okay, you want brand. Number 2, you want the product name or the model. Now, again, I'm not going to go deep into these, but just know that, the brand and the product name are at the heart of that leading part of the title. You want to hit them first off with the major information. And so then we have department if it's applicable. This is not always a part of every listing, but for those that it is, that's very important to get there near the front. Also, the product type. So if it is pants, or if it's a figurine or an action figure or a CD or whatever it is, include the product type. After you get the brand, the product name / model, the department if it applies, and the product type, then you want to move into the important variants or variations that you need to take note of, like a size, the style, the color, the year, the condition. These are just some of them. But if you're a reseller, you know what these are. You know what a lot of these are and how they differ somewhat from one item to another, from one category to another. But learn the categories that you're selling in often so that you can do a really good job at pulling and extracting the important variants that buyers are looking for and that the algorithm is looking for in order to populate the search results for you. The last thing I would say, number 6, is to pay attention to the key selling points, benefits / features for the particular item that you are selling. Now, this may not always have a bearing on everything you list, but on many of the items you list, the key selling points are going to be really important, because sometimes they offer, some comfort to the buyer. So you might include something like tested and working, 4 parts only, like new condition, sealed condition, those types of things. Those can be important factors to note in a listing. So pay attention to those key selling points that make it unique. You want your listing to stand out. You want it to seem better, more accurate, more detailed than the others, and has something that kind of sets it apart. You can go to eBay online and you can find some examples of what they call the perfect titles. I'll put them up now. So take a look at these. You got multiple categories represented here. Just kind of take a look. And like I said, if you need to find these, just do some Google searches for titles in relation to eBay, and it will give you these results and send you to these pages. All right, so one other note I'd like to make is, after I had decided to do this topic, and I actually have already recorded a video from when I was sick, and I tried to do the start of this, and then I happened to see a video done by Rachel Strickland that kind of covers, well, maybe not titles in the bigger aspect, but definitely focused on like keywords and how they play a role in the title. Guys, it's awesome. If you haven't heard of Rachel Strickland, go check her out, sub to her channel, and look for that video. I promise you'll walk away knowing more than you did and in a better position to create really good titles that come up in the search results. I'll put a link to it at the bottom. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video. It's been good hanging out with you today. Just awesome how, sales are kind of kicking off to the new year. I'm excited about what's ahead. I'm looking forward to this year. I plan to try to be at some of the reseller events, and I'll try to share some film of that. I hope to go to the one in February, Planes to Profit. That's kind of our plan. Guys, I appreciate everyone that's taking the time to watch the videos, that's commenting. And just remember, I tell you this all the time. I love you. God loves you. And whatever you do, guys, don't you ever, ever give up. Hang in there, and I'll see you on the next one.